you so much, Azhar, for taking the time for this right here. So then, what I want to do is to showcase examples of awesome Malaysian students like yourself. Are you shy?
Yeah, I'm a bit shy.
You go to Princeton, though.
I mean, like, it's
I mean, like,
there are a lot of people who are more amazing than me, for sure.
That's Princeton level humility. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, like what kind of schools like, attended before like you got on Princeton? Because like that's an incredible achievement.
I did my secondary education at KYS, Malaysia. It's a private boarding school. I was lucky enough and had the privilege to get a partial scholarship from Azhar and finished 5 years at KYS. And then with my secondary and SPM results, I managed to apply for the scholarship, Shell Malaysia scholarship, and did 2 years of A-levels at KYEM before applying to universities in the UK and the US. And I've been lucky enough to be admitted into Princeton, just finished my first year, and yeah, excited for my 3 years left there.
Incredible. Well, what was your time at Princeton like? I guess like, was it what you expected, or like, was it like significantly different?
Well, it's a really amazing school. I have to recognize that the privilege that I have is truly amazing. The resources there are abundant. For example, this summer I did a summer internship in Singapore, fully funded by Princeton for 2 months.
And I see that you're really making use of the whole highest endowment per student.
It's a big endowment, yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe can you share a little bit about the process of applying for Princeton? Like, what was that journey like? I don't know, like taking SAT along that journey.
Yeah, sure, definitely. It was a very stressful process. I did the SATs twice, I think. One in March and another in August. Okay. And at the same time, I was like juggling A-levels. You know, you have to get a good AS results, good trial results. And it was very stressful, I must say. I feel with people who are applying. Like every time someone says, "Oh, it's application season," it brings me back, and I'm like,
"Yeah, that is actually definitely happening for like a lot of viewers."
Yeah, right exactly. Yeah.
Would you be willing to share like on like how you did for like SAT and then, like how eventually you did for?
Yeah, sure. I think the first one I didn't fare too well. I got 1410, and the second SATs I got a 1510. And in terms of A-levels, I did 4 subjects: further maths, physics, and chemistry, and I got like 4 A stars, so that was like pretty good on my end. But I would say a lot of hard work was like put into it, and it was
definitely like that. That is like definitely. So yes, again, congratulations on that incredible achievement right there. Although there is something that I am very much curious about, which is like, may I ask what you wrote about, like for your culture? Say like you remember like what I guess like you share in the course of your life.
Princeton, I wrote one about cheerleading. I used to be a cheerleader back in primary school. I got bullied for it, but I feel like those lessons, it built something in me in terms of like toxic masculinity and overcoming that barrier. So that was like a lesson that I wanted to show because I feel that is what I value as a person. And other than that, I think I wrote about tutoring. I did a bit of tutoring in A-levels for like physics and mathematics, and I hope to do some tutoring at Princeton as well. I haven't got around to it yet, but I look to enter the McGraw Teaching Center. They call it the McGraw Teaching Center, where students can tutor other students. So I'm looking to get a job there hopefully next year and tutor other students as well.
All right. Well, I hope that you will get your wish.
Thank you.
It looks like basically you've had like quite a lot of experiences at Princeton so far. Do you feel that there have been any like defining ones so far, or things that really like open your eyes to the larger world?
I guess I must say that I had a writing seminar class, so everyone has to do like a research paper, and it was really interesting to see, I guess, how other people thought about things. Because I was writing something about Malaysia, someone else was writing about Macau, other people were writing about like China, and how the posters back then led to feminism when the working class posters back then, I think it was in the 1960s or something like that. So I guess that experience has been like really eye-opening in terms of like, you know, everyone has their own interests, and it's up to you to go in depth with it or whether or not you want to pursue it. And I really like that about like, I guess, Princeton and US schools in general.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, Princeton, of course, is a historical university in many different ways, right? Like, it's like super old, like super prestigious. So of course, like everybody goes to a university as an individual, right? What is being a part of that legacy, I guess, like mean to you?
Legacy is such a scary
Well, but,
word.
okay, well, you don't have to say like necessarily like legacy, but I guess like what does it personally mean?
Yeah. Okay. The first T-shirt you get from Princeton for free is a shirt that says, "Oh, your class name." So like my class of 2026, change the world. Like that is what they want you to do. I guess that's their mission, and I really want to like take that and make it my own as well, and hopefully change the world in my own way. Whether or not it's like change the world through Malaysia, could it change the world through like engineering, as I'm an engineering major. But that is like I guess the vision that I hope to live up to, and that is something that I think Princeton really values. And yeah, I'd really love to live up to that legacy, as you like.
Change the world.
Yeah, somehow change the world. Yeah.
Is that something that you had like even before going to Princeton, or was it like I don't know, like something that was cultivated at Princeton?
I feel like I did have a perspective of like
Wanting to change.
changing. No, I mean like in high school it's more of like contributing back to my country, Malaysia. Like it was very, I guess, Malaysia centric. But now, like I guess I have a more broader world view of things, and hopefully, if I can change the world, that would be like an amazing thing to do. But yeah, I'd like to contribute back to Malaysia first, and
That's incredible.
hopefully the world.
Thank you.
eventually.
That's truly incredible. How do you think that your experiences have started to shape the way that you think? Because like you said earlier that like you were at first thinking about Malaysia, but then like later on, then what happened was that your thoughts began to shift. So then, like, what are some of the things that maybe let that change to happen?
I guess just talking to people and realizing that there is a big like global problem in terms of like everywhere there's just like problem everywhere, and as like a person who has like that privilege of getting a really good education, I feel like I have to use that back to change the world somehow or solve like a big problem in the world. And right now I'm focused more towards probably water purification in parts of the world.
You're an engineering student.
Yeah. So hopefully I can use my degree to use,
I see.
or even like going towards the sustainability end where a lot of things are, as you can see, like the temperatures are getting hot all over the world. It's global boiling now, no longer.
Boiling.
Yes, no longer global warming. And I feel like I have the privilege to change that, and I hope to change that.
I see. Incredible. Okay. So, forgive me for not knowing this, but like, what is your major? At least your intended major or concentration?
I actually just declared this year, and I'm going to be a chemical and biological major, biological engineering major. Hopefully, if I graduate in 2026, yeah.
All right, bless. You can do it. All right. What aspects, I guess, of university life do you feel were unexpected for you, and maybe like, how do you feel that you overcame some of those challenges?
I'd say that it's a very collaborative process. I didn't realize that it required a lot of collaboration
Like
going into it. Yeah, I guess because of A levels, it's like, okay, I study for this exam, I do well, that's it. Like, no matter what, as long as I get the good grades, by all means, that's all I need to do for A levels. But for like university, at least, it's like very collaborative in sense like there are things that I will never know if I study by myself. Like regardless of how many times I spend in like the library, it's going to be a hard thing to crack. For example, like I had a really, really tough time with like computer programming. It was like something very new to me, and going to like reading the textbook in and out wasn't really helping. And I was like really thankful to have a really good partner for computer programming, and she just helped me really well for all that. And I was able to like hold the roles for like Java. It was a really like collaborative process, and I guess that's like my main takeaway from like the US academic experience is how collaborative it is.
If you were to go back and do it again, right, knowing what you know now, so then like, what might you do differently, and how do you feel that maybe you would try to advise students?
I think it's like taking it easy and don't be too hard on yourself. And a rejection is like redirection. I feel like, yeah, rejection is redirection. As cliche as it sounds, I definitely think that's very true. And don't be hard on yourself, because these universities, they have like their own like, I guess like how their own like types, and it's a very subjective process. And whenever I got rejected, I felt like, oh, maybe I wasn't good enough. But in hindsight, I realized that is all just like whether or not you fit the school, and it doesn't like value you as a person. And I put so much like value of my like self-esteem towards like getting accepted into these really good universities. I realized that that's not the case. Like sometimes you can get rejected, and that doesn't mean that you're bad or you're not good enough, but you just don't fit that personality type of that university. So it doesn't like show you and you deserve to be at a university that values you as a person. So yeah, if you are a person who is applying to the United States or to the UK, it's really important to realize that your self-worth isn't tied to your acceptance to a university.
You did mention that your wish is now more, shall we say, broad, right? Do you have any particular hopes for, well, the people who came after you?
I guess being a considerate person is what I hope like youth from Malaysia would be.
Wow.
Like in terms of like, you know, when you're making a decision whether or not this person will like affect someone else. This might be like a very petty thing, but whenever I'm eating like at McDonald's or anything like that, whenever I see like people not clear the tables, like that's being like very inconsiderate to people who are working there.
Right.
And I just feel like if people like made every decision with being considerate of others, then Malaysia would be a
Much better place.
Yeah, exactly. And we gotta instill that.
agree,
We gotta
100%.
instill that from like when they're very young. And I hope, yeah, that is what I hope for the youth in Malaysia.
I 100% agree. Do you have a particular wish that you want to accomplish in your own wish? That I guess like that would intersect, I guess, the fortunes of like I guess our country.
Well, at the time when I was applying, I was really looking in water purification for Malaysia in terms of like certain states don't have access to clean water, and I hope to like implement my engineering knowledge that I put to play in terms of like making clean water more accessible. And who knows, maybe I could adapt that towards the whole world or something like that. And I guess that for now is my dream. But that was a few years ago. I guess things change sometimes. And I am looking towards helping the world, but I'm still not too certain about my footing and where I stand in that place.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's really great.
Azhar.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. One of Malaysia's finest. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Thank you.